I was younger, I used to play a medieval RTS game called Age of Empires 2. You could play alone, which was fun, but the game really came to life when you played online, and you did this by going onto a website called The Zone. Now only a relic of the internet, The Zone was a website run by Microsoft in 1999 for online gaming, and it might not sound like that big of a deal by today's standards, but this was my first experience of online play. I even went as far as to join a clan called the Wolves that held their own private games in a chat called the Wolf Den. What made it so private? Well, it had a password. Rabies. Sadly, The Zone eventually shut down, but this would lead to a friend introducing me to another game. One that in time, I would come to love even more.
It's time!
Keep me out of this.
So I'm pretty sure you know this game either by playing it yourself or hearing about it from friends.
But if not, then the closest comparison I can make is Blizzard's World of Warcraft. But personally, I like Runescape a lot better, because to run WoW you need to buy the game and then you've got to buy a monthly subscription. And then if you really like it, you've got to buy the expansion packs and... just no! With RuneScape you can pay for membership, which gives you access to more content, but there's a free version too. And it's all played inside of your browser.
That's right, this game's on the line. No downloads.
So you start off on Tutorial Island, where you make your character and learn the basics. When you're done, you're teleported off the island so you can play the real game. This is my character,
Riserika,
the most powerful and feared warrior in all of the land. Until I made him a her. Now you might be looking at your screen thinking that I used a potato to capture this footage, but the fact is I didn't.
This thing's been broken for weeks.
It's just how RuneScape looks, but I don't mind, it gives the game a certain charm. But does someone want to explain why a broken window is less transparent than a normal window? So anyway, RuneScape is an MMORPG, which means there are a ton of other people playing alongside you, like IMOSRS, Job00, and... You can even add these people as friends and exchange private messages, or even talk aloud. Such a stupid kid, oh my fucking god!
It's okay to be a noob.
I'm a wizard! No, or a clown.
they call me Wizard Tom!
You know, do yourself a favour and just stay away from public chat. Just... nah.
The backstory to this game is pretty basic. You're just the hero in a world made by 3 gods. That's it. Saradomin is good, Guthix is neutral, and Zamorak is evil. The only other story elements come in the form of optional quests, and while other medieval games try way too hard to be authentic, RuneScape is pretty lighthearted. Like, at one point you can literally go up to a priest and tell him that him, his world, and his god are all a lie, because he's just a character inside a video game.
And that's badass!
Despite being one of the most unique MMOs, it's still an MMO at heart, so hours of skill grinding is still a big part of gameplay. You might notice that I'm wearing pretty high level armor, so you probably think I'm super into combat or something, but honestly, the only reason I did train it was so I could earn money to buy rare discontinued items. That might sound kinda pointless, especially considering that they're way overpriced and don't actually do anything, but
Damn it! I wrote this shit, 3 Halloween masks, a pumpkin for kid. I got pea hats and a chicken costume, yo-yos aside from this skeleton suit. Woohoo! I'm really sorry for all these songs in my videos, but I found that this was boring, so I spiced it up with a song.
Another thing that separates RuneScape from other MMOs are random events. They're designed to make sure that you're not using a program to train for you. They work like this. Say you're mining for long periods of time. The game will notice and it will try and see if you're really there by sending you an overpowered rock golem to attack you. If you're really there, then you'll know to run away, but if you're a robot, then you wouldn't notice and would thus be killed. But even if you're not training, you can be teleported away to complete a task, and that may seem annoying, but they're honestly one of the funnest parts of the game, because they're fun and usually you get a costume as reward. My favourite was either the maze or the mine event. The maze is pretty straightforward, I mean, it's a maze. But the mime event? That's where things get weird. So you're teleported to a theatre where you have to copy a mime using a Mose. Once you've copied him enough times, you're teleported back to where you were with a piece of mime clothing or one of the special mime memos. But that's not the weird part. During the event, if you spin the camera around, you can see 3 figures in the audience. An elderly man in white, an entirely green man, and a skeleton in red armour. Now it's believed that these are in fact the 3 gods I mentioned earlier, as each god is represented by a certain colour. Saradomin, blue or white, Guthix, green, and Zamorak, red. I feel like it's too coincidental that these 3 not only accurately represent each god, but are also the only people in the audience. But if these are the gods, why are they at a mime theatre? And if I were to go through these doors, where would they take me? If you're free to play, then the only civilizations you can see are the humans and the small dwarven communities in the mines. But if you're a member, then you can venture past the member gate and see lots of other things, like elves, fairies, and even gnomes, which are by far the oddest. They teleport around using these spirit trees and even have a small plane, making them technologically the most superior race on RuneScape. There are other smaller communities too, like the Tazar who live under the Karamajava volcano, and even an entire town run by ghosts called Port Phasmatis. It's pretty run down and this ghost is protesting, but I'm more concerned about where he got his sign. Like, how is there a ghost sign? The only human that's here besides you is Robin Hood, and he wants a bedsheet. So if you tell the ghost innkeeper, he'll give you one to give to Robin Hood, and I was honestly going to at one point, but then I found out that the bedsheet had a wear option. And then I covered the bedsheet with slime, and now I'm a spooky ghost, spooky, spooky ghost. Whoa, 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 whoa. Why do ghosts say woo? Why do ghosts say woo? Whoa, whoa, whoa. You might think that this is my favourite town because I fucking love Halloween. As you may know, I love Halloween. It's just pure Halloween. But my favourite town is actually a place called Draenor. Everyone here is just so damn weird. And this guy flat out kills a few players and robs a bank. Plot twist, he lives like 3 steps away from it. Seriously? The fuck? Besides crazy old people, Draenor is also home to holiday events, and completing one gives you a rare discontinued item, like the pumpkins and masks on Halloween, or the Santa hat on Christmas. However, not all discontinued items are holiday related. The most intriguing item in the whole game is discontinued, but explaining what it is exactly requires some backstory. During the early years of RuneScape, players that misbehaved were sent to a mysterious black abyss called the Black Hole. As the months went by, stories about the Black Hole's existence began to emerge, which caused honest players to break the rules, just so they could see the Black Hole for themselves. Because of this, a character called Thordor the Dwarf was introduced and sold an item called the Disc of Returning, and using it, you could travel to and from the Black Hole. However, rule breakers began tricking players into dropping their discs. This allowed rule breakers to steal it, return to the game, and leave the honest player stuck inside the Black Hole, and essentially unban themselves. Once Jagex discovered this foul play, they decided to stop sending banned players to the Black Abyss and just made it impossible for them to log in. This made Thordor pointless, and soon after, he and his discs disappeared, without a trace. But if you've kept your Disc of Returning, you'll find that you can still travel to the Black Hole. But all you'll find is an endless black void, with a lonely dwarf named Thordor, whose fate has been reduced to nothing more than wandering the darkness alone.
Oh my god, this game sucks. I need a cigarette. Oh yes, I love that nicotine dough. Shit. You'll never take me alive, pig. Cats rule.
Damn it, now I need a new assistant!
Arguably the most popular thing to do in this game is travel to a place to the north called the Wilderness. It's like any other area, except players can attack you whenever they want, and the deeper you go, the more likely it is that you run into someone. Shit. Chill, dude, chill. Fucking chill, dude, chill.
Leave me alone, I'm just trying to shoot a video, god damn it!
Okay, fine. So you want to fight, bows and roses?
You fucking dick. I hope a spider bites your head and then it lays eggs in your head. God
Fucking damn it.
I fucking hate PKers!
Why would anyone want to go their best friend in the whole wide world who is significantly cooler than I am?
Oh, there are many, many, many reasons why someone would want to go into the wilderness.
Go on!
Want to find the king, black dragon, the strongest monster in the entire game. To my moon, I always chase. Rarely fucking rare. If you kill another player, you will get all of their loot. For it's a real good place for skills.
As we just found out, the wilderness is a dangerous place. And I can't really explain it, but it feels like you're being followed by something. It kinda... What the fuck was that? Since this area is so big, it goes largely unexplored. And because of this, there are many rumors that creep up every once in a while. But the one I want to talk about involves a certain hill. The story goes like this. Once again during the early years, the two highest ranked players on the high scores was Azima and the Old Knight. These two were constantly fighting for the top spot, but one day the Old Knight just stopped logging in. After about 2 weeks of inactivity, it was revealed that he actually died. Now sometime after his death, this statue of a warrior next to a grave appeared on the Wilderness Hill, with the examined text, "This person was of great importance." It's never been confirmed, but a lot of people believe this to have been put in the game as a memorial to the Old Knight. But whether it really is or not, is entirely up to you. Now my fondest memories of this game are of a place called Castle Wars. It's quite far away from anything, but you can use Ring of Dueling to teleport there. Once you're there, the first thing you'll want to do is put on some armor. And then go through one of these portals to put yourself on a team. Blue for the blue team, green for a random team, and lastly red for orange and brown, though supposedly red. Once the game starts, the aim is to enter the enemy's castle, take their flag, and bring it to your own to score points. But I didn't get to do that because I died, so here's some footage of me dying. Yes! So yeah, it can be pretty hard to score points sometimes. I find it easier to go through the underground tunnel that connects the castles as opposed to just running out on the battlefield because not that many people know the tunnel exists, so you're likely to die less. And that's really all there is to Castle Wars. But don't be fooled, it's fun as heck. My friends and I would play this for hours, and sometimes days would just meld into each other. If your team just so happens to win, then you get 2 tickets. And if you have enough of said tickets, then you can get exclusive Castle Wars armor. Which isn't actually as cool as it sounds, because the armor isn't that good, and it kind of looks a bit weird. At least from my point of view. But then again, that's coming from the guy that likes to dress like it's Halloween every day. So... perspective.
Come on, Sucks, let's not put this off any longer. You can sit right here and play with me.
Replaying RuneScape again, I'm not really sure how much fun it would be to someone that had never played it before, since the biggest draw for me is nostalgia. This might be a bit hard for some of you to understand, but I find that as I grow older, I enjoy a game I used to play simply because I used to play it. It's really hard for me to explain how I feel about it, but basically, this game reminds me of a time over 10 years ago where my school friends and I would play this game well into the night without a care in the world. But since 10 years have passed, I've lost all contact with these guys. That's just how life is sometimes. So now, RuneScape acts like a little window to a time when we was all together, you know? In conclusion, it's not the gameplay which makes RuneScape a good game, but rather the bonds and experiences it allows you to have. And if you're having fun anyway, what does it matter?